What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back again with another 90-day fiance update video. And this one is all about Jibri and Miona's scene in the last episode of 90-day fiance season 9, episode 14. But with that being said though, let's start off by giving a big massive shout out to every single person that is a member of the channel, every single person that is a member of Patreon, and every single person that is a subscriber as we continue to grow. Now with that being said, let's get into it.
So you guys have been here for a few months, and we just want to kind of talk about what the plans were for you guys and what you were thinking in terms of moving out. So you're kicking us out, is what you're saying?
So we talked about, before Miona came, that you could stay with us for a few months. We all had talked about the end of the year, after you guys got married.
No, you said to the end of the year, so that's another whole full month.
Now let's analyze the fact that Jibri's mother says, we had spoken about your stay here before Miona had arrived, which means Jibri's had time to plan way before the 3 months, the 90 days even began. So therefore, really and truly, should he be acting surprised? Should he be acting shocked with what's happening here? Well, here's the thing. A part of me says yes, he should act surprised, but a part of me says either way, he shouldn't be surprised. Let me explain why. Jibri is someone that gives me vibes as someone that has got away with a lot of things over the years. You know, a lot of things his mom has allowed him to get away with, including his stepdad and probably his father as well. Because at the end of the day, we know that he's most certainly a somewhat of a free spirit, someone that believes that he needs to do what's best for him, regardless of the consequences. And in some situations, that's a good thing. But in this situation, there is no love and light. If you know, you know. So the reason why he's surprised, in my opinion, is because he thought he could probably have more time, because normally mommy usually gives him that extra time. As I mean, look at it this way, he's 28 years of age, he's come back home from Serbia, and he has a place to stay at where? At his mother's house. So therefore he knows he's always got that. But this is where he shouldn't be surprised. The difference with him before compared to the difference to him now compared to his life before is that now he's introducing someone else into his mother's household. That is an extra person, which means it's extra food, extra money, extra accommodation, extra everything. Now, of course, at the same time, though, there is the flip side where maybe Jibri and Miona are giving money into the house to help with the extra bills, you know, in terms of like the water, you know, the electricity, the food. But here's the thing, though, we know that Miona isn't working. So we know that she can't bring anything to the table financially. And we know she didn't bring any savings. Jibri, on the other hand, at the very beginning of the season, we saw that he wasn't working either. Whether or not he's had a job since the beginning of the season, definitely hasn't been the case. So the matter of the fact is, he's bringing nothing to the table financially, nor is Miona. So his mum and his dad are now having to pay for an extra body. So of course, it comes to a point where the mother now has to be an actual parent, and she has to actually be stubborn along with the stepdad. And that's where she's now coming in and saying, we told this beforehand. He obviously didn't take it seriously, but now he has to, and it's hit him like, what? And at the end of the day, he doesn't want to take accountability or responsibility. But the matter of the fact is, if he's been preaching about being a grown-up person, and he's been preaching about having the ability to marry someone and having a wedding, well, then that means you have the ability to go off and find a place for yourself and for your woman. End of the day, Jibri knows the responsibility ahead of him. He knows he's going to have to pay for both him and Miona for God knows how long. And that's obviously a burden, a responsibility that he does not want. And he was expecting the mommy and dad would help him the whole way through. In fact, there's something that he says that pretty much confirms that.
He said to the end of the year, so that's another whole full month.
So that's what we're talking about. We want to firm up plans.
So you're getting married soon, somewhere. Where's that? I don't know yet. You're getting married sometime soon. So when is that? I don't know yet. Oh, okay. So that's where we want to kind of figure out
the fact that the stepdad had to rephrase the same sentence twice already tells us how he sees Jibri. Already tells us that Jibri has always acted like a little brat. He's always acted like a teenage kid. In fact, just before the scene itself in particular, when stepdaddy knocked on the door, he was like, I feel like I'm 15 again. Well, the fact is, you're still living at your mom's house, your stepdad's house. And of course, they have the ability to still knock on that door. And they also have the ability to still kind of look at you as if you haven't necessarily grown up yet. And for Jibri, it's very easy to say that he hasn't grown up yet. This is why I've always said that it's very interesting why Miona is actually with him per se, based on the narrative that people have always had against her. You would think that maybe she would have gone with someone that was financially there, but someone did make a very point that if in Serbia, this black Serb was a big thing, and he was able to portray it as if it was like a really popping thing, and as if there was a financial backing behind it, of course, any girl was gonna fall in love with that concept of that person. But the matter of the fact is, since he's been in the US, anything that maybe he has put out there about his band and, you know, obviously him being love and light and all that kind of mumbo jumbo, all that stuff, which seems to me as if that stuff has been exposed by his parents throughout the freaking season. Because anytime he has tried to, I don't know if the word is manipulate that I want to use, but anytime he's trying to play that, you know, happy-go-lucky, yeah, this is what we're going to do kind of thing, every time it's happened, mummy's been there to basically shut it down. Stepdaddy's been there to shut it down. Even his own friend, David, has been there to shut it down. Because in reality, anything that he has been portraying clearly isn't legit. And the matter of the fact is, I've said it before and I've said it again, who we see him to be right now on his socials compared to who we're seeing here, again, there's no similarities. So clearly when mummy and daddy's not there, he's more than happy to show this character, love and life, no, light and love. But then when mummy and daddy's there, it's more like, and there has to be a reason behind it. But listen, let's carry on.
That's where we want to kind of figure out that. That's why we need just a little bit more time just to figure it out. My parents are on some bull. They're just not trying to help out. They're not supportive. I just not what I expected.
My parents are acting out. They're not helping out. They're not being supportive. So this tells me exactly what I'm trying to do. This confirms exactly what I'm trying to say here. That clearly in his life before Miona, mummy and daddy have always been supportive. They've always been helpful. And the matter of fact is, though, it is quite disrespectful that he's saying that they're not being supportive and they're not trying to help out, because as far as I'm concerned, they have given you a home and your woman a home. They don't have to give you a home. You are 28 years of age. At that age, any parent has the ability to say to you, listen, you might be my child, but you're 28. You should have got your shits together by now. And the fact that you expect to still be able to live here with me and daddy-o, take that as a freaking privilege. And the matter of fact is, he's not taking it as a privilege. So talking about support and helping out, listen, right now he has the ability to save money from potential work, okay? And not have to worry about bills and actually use that money for the wedding and to use that money to plan for when they need to move out. But instead of doing that, he's too busy fussed about how they haven't been supportive. How they don't want to help out. Giving you a home, giving you a room to stay in is supportive. Giving you a room to stay in is helping you out. And also at the same time, yes, there's been a lot of crucial questions that mum has asked throughout the season that have been very interesting and, you know, somewhat unnecessary. But at the same time, though, she has still been able to give you that home. And food has also been put on the table as well. Let's not forget the fundamentals of life sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Some of the fundamentals in life that are so overgone people's heads is having a place to stay. To be fair, whether it's warm or cold, at least you've got a place to stay, because many people, they don't have that. Okay, being able to have food on the table every single evening, every single morning, every single afternoon, many people don't get that. And a lot of people seem to take those things for granted. So at the end of the day, he can talk about how they haven't been supported, but they've given you a free home. They've given you free food. Majority of the time based on what we've seen. But hey, guess what? They haven't been supportive. And the matter of the fact is, it's not like they're saying, hey, we want you out tomorrow. We want you out next week. They are saying that before Miona arrived, we had a conversation about you getting out here. And now they're bringing that conversation back. The fact that they're bringing that conversation back is helpful, because at least they're trying to help you plan. They're saying, listen, we want to know what your plan is. What is the plan for going forward? And therefore they can have the input. That is called support. That is called help. They could have said absolutely nothing. And then within that last week where you need to move out, be like, oh yeah, so did you find that place? Now you're going to move out now. You know, you got a week left now. They could have done that last minute, but they're giving you a whole month. There's a lot of people who don't get those opportunities. But again, though, this is someone who's entitled. And he's the same guy that wanted to call his own girl a something. It's funny how you can call your own girl one word and your mum tells you off for doing it, when in reality, you're the one behaving exactly that way. Contradictive much? Nonetheless, let's continue.
Seems like you're just trying to kick us out, so what's the
So again, this goes back to plans. This isn't personal. This isn't about not wanting to be there. We've said over and over and over that we want to be at your wedding, and we needed to know when so that we could make plans.
Yeah, but we didn't know when this K1 fiance visa was going to come through. We got the interview date a week before, in the end of the summer, so we didn't have time to even plan anything. We didn't have 10 months to plan anything.
Okay, so
you had 3 months to plan something. I know, we're still in those 3 months, so it's right.
So I don't want to argue about that because, Jibri.
I know, but that's if you think about it, it's kind of like slap in the face a little bit.
How to act like a spoiled little child. How to act like a teenage boy that just hit puberty. That is exactly what we're witnessing here. We're not witnessing someone that's 28 years of age. I'm sitting there thinking, if I was Miona at this moment in time, am I sure I want to marry someone who acts like this at the age of 28? Because let's not forget, for women, majority of the time in their teenage years, when women, I believe when girls turn arguably 14, 15, a lot of the time, girls always want to be with an older guy because an older guy is so much more mature. And then even when women get to a certain age of 20, the early 20s, oh yeah, I want to be with an older guy. I can't be with a guy my age because they're too immature. So how do we explain this situation? Because I can tell you this now flat out. I know plenty of people, men, not plenty, but I know a couple guys who are in their early 20s and they've got their shiz together. I know people when I was in my early 20s who had their shiz together. They had a job ready, always an apprenticeship. You know what I mean, okay? They already had certain things in line for themselves, okay? Maybe them going out on a Friday night, Saturday night and getting drunk and doing all wacky stuff wasn't necessarily the mature things to do, but they had their life ready. And those guys that I knew then, now they've got their families ready. You know what I mean? They've got their careers sorted out, they've got their kids, they've got their marriage, they've got their mortgage, they've got all that stuff. They started that stuff from early 20s. And this is why I feel like a lot of women need to get rid of this thing about how dating an older guy means he's going to be more mature. That's the biggest BS I've ever heard in my life. I know women right now who are in their 30s and they'll be talking to a guy who's also in his 30s. He hasn't got a job, still living at home with his mummy. Too busy all the time. Someone has the money for that, but doesn't have the money to pay the bills. So the point that I'm trying to make is this, is that people need to stop people need to stop valuing people based on their age and need to stop valuing people based on their actions. Just because maybe in those early ages, men are going out and getting drunk and so are girls, just understand it's called being youthful. But if you can see he's got a job, you can see that he's working his way out of his parents' house already is, it means that maturity is coming. But then again though, it depends on how you look at mature, because even people like that who have those things in place, it doesn't necessarily mean they're actually generally mature. They can still be complete dicks. But anyway, let's continue.
Slap in the face a little bit.
No, it's not a slap in the face. You had plenty of time before Miona came to look for places to get married because you knew this was going to happen eventually. We are following up with the plans for you two to be on your own, starting a married life in your own place at the end of the 90 days.
For me, needed something like this to happen so Jibri didn't realize that we need to leave. But from the other side, I feel really sorry for Jibri. Like, I'm not saying anything because I don't know what to say. I feel horrible. Like, I would never do that to my kid.
I'm just saying, I would have expected a little bit of help. Maybe you guys could try to help us figure it out. Help us, you know. I don't know.
Hey, you're 28 years old. You're an adult. Okay? It's your wedding. We've just learned at an early age that we have to make very solid boundaries with Jibri for him to follow through with things. If there's any wavering, then he'll take advantage of that.
Jibri is acting like we've all of a sudden decided to kick him out. We've been talking about this for months. This was the agreement.
So, this is your commitment. Regardless, end of the year.
No, we're going to be out before then.
Okay.
So, okay, that's your choice to do that.
No, we're going to pack our stuff because you guys don't want to help us with this, so, or want us here.
I don't think we ever said that. Did we say that?
No,
we
we
didn't
didn't.
say
But
that.
I feel like I'm 15 years old again.
I feel like you're being 15 years old again, too.
All right, this conversation's over. There's nothing else I need to say.
Can we please give a round of applause to the MVP of this scene? And that is the father, the stepdaddy-o, saying everything that's needed to be said. You're 28 years of age, exactly. Sitting there talking about, oh, I thought you're going to help us out. What do you think they've been doing? But the fact is though, should they be helping you out? Interesting how at the very beginning of the season, throughout the season, he's been talking about him being, not necessarily talking about him being a man, but he's always had this persona of, you know, oh yeah, I'm a guy and I'm gonna da 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 da. You know that fake alpha mentality, when in reality there's no alpha about him. Because the fact is anything, the only thing alpha about him is I'll get back to you on that one. May never will, but I'll get back to you on that one. Too many fake alphas in this world. But at the end of the day, I'm not saying being alpha is a good thing per se, but at the end of the day, having some of the traits can be very beneficial. And one of the traits of being alpha is being able to step up and take control and take charge. And that is something Jibri is failing to do. You know what I mean? And most certainly, the stepdaddy was definitely doing that by definitely putting him in his place and saying to him, listen, you're talking about all these, but you're 28 years of age. And you know what? End of the day, they said you got the end of the year. What happened? He got snapped like a 15-year-old boy that he was complaining that he's not, and said we'll be out before then. Okay, how are you going to be out before then if you haven't even got your shits together now? He's complaining and moaning about they haven't got their shits together now, they're not ready now, and they need support now. But then all of a sudden, oh, you know what? Screw you. I'll be out here way before that. Maturity at its finest, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah, right. But nonetheless though, as far as I'm concerned, just like his mother even said, we've been talking about this for months upon months, and obviously he has not taken it seriously at all, because clearly before Miona was here, well, and this isn't because of Miona personally, but before there was an extra body to look after, at the end of the day, it was always easy for his parents to take him back and support him and help him, because of course, why not? But at the end of the day, he's now a man who is now preparing to get married, preparing to... What else is he preparing to do? I know he's going to get married. Is he preparing to get a job yet? My bad. He's preparing for black Serbs to finally make it. Oh, wait. But they haven't made it, though. Isn't he now on social media just selling pants? So what was he preparing for again? Oh, damn. Nothing. So he... Wait. Is he still winging his life right now? Oh, shiz. So even after the 90 days, there's still been nothing in place. Everything is winging it. But it's okay though. The same kind of guy will just say, the same kind of guy that will just call me out for just being a YouTuber, hey. Even though I pay my own bills and all that shit, but it is what it is. But nonetheless though, at the end of the day, I really do hope though that Mr. Love and Light has got his shit together now, hopefully, and him and Miona are in a good place financially, because if you ask me, some people, when you watch their movements, you watch their actions, it just feels like even though they may look good financially, it doesn't mean they are good financially, because there's a possible chance that financially, those credit cards, those bank loans, that bankruptcy may be pending. You just never know sometimes with people that love to show you that they're balling on their socials, but on the show, they ain't even got a freaking job. Maybe he's living off of Miona's new line of work nowadays. I know she promoted something. I don't know if it was hair, lashes, I don't know what it was, but she's got something going on right now. Who knows? But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, all I want to say is this. Love and light. If you know, you know. Like, subscribe, and peace.